Welcome to Beyond Books, a podcast where we aim to deep dive into ever-evolving education and the challenges what it faces today. I am your host, Chetan Jaiswal from MyPeegu, and I'm thrilled and excited to continue my journey of exploring how today's education system is transforming with the generation needs. Hello, Rohit sir.
Hi, Chetan.
Welcome to Beyond Books podcast.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure and honor for me to have you over here. Today, we're going to do something different. We don't have any experienced educationist who will be talking on our podcast, but instead of that, we are getting somebody from the outsider who brings a different perspective that how education system and the future is going to be. That's what makes this podcast more interesting. Now, today's guest, who's someone who I've known for quite some time, I would like to welcome Mr. Rohit Jain. He is Director of Shell Group and also a chairperson of Delhi Public School, Greater Faridabad. Mr. Rohit Jain has donned various hats as an entrepreneur. He started his journey as in higher education, then he got into the schools, and throughout his journey he has created a remarkable mark in the real estate industry. But one of the things which makes him more different and his perspective makes more interesting is his passion for change, his candid approach, and he's been very curious mind. Mr. Rohit, one more thing I like about him is that he's a very straightforward thinker and he doesn't like to sugarcoat his thoughts, and that kind of honesty is what we value at Beyond Books. So it's my honor again to welcome Mr. Rohit. We have known for the longest period of time now,
Yes.
right? And we always sit down and we have a lot of conversations around how the education industry is and how it's going to be evolving going forward. एक सवाल आता है मेरे जहन में, पहले आपने मुझे को बताया है, बट आई थिंक इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर आवर व्यूअर्स आल्सो टू नो इट, कि आप एजुकेशन इंडस्ट्री में कैसे आए?
When I was studying in Pune University, wherein I saw a lot of trends of private colleges, especially in the south part of India. From there, though it was not a very good thing to say on the camera, but it inspired me to get into this area because it had potential of as in business. I mean, I would not mince with the words by saying, okay, I was thinking about generations of India, but yes, as a student, I had thought education to be a good business model, and that's how I got into education. So starting from there, I got into higher education, there on to K-12 education.
एक चीज़ आती है सर कि हम जब स्कूल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, 1.5 मिलियन स्कूल्स हैं कंट्री में, राइट, एंड ऑलमोस्ट 24 मिलियन स्टूडेंट्स वी हैव इट. So one thing we cannot ignore is the scarcity of resources, जो कि teachers की है. अब now catering to 24 million students, of course we require a good amount of teacher population.
Trained teachers.
Let's see, absolutely right, trained teachers. Now scarcity of teachers plus getting a teacher. Now we have to ensure these teachers are actually able to really make that educate. They are equipped to handle the children, what exactly their needs are.
The teachers themselves are educated or not. When I say educated,
Right.
they are trained to train the students.
Yes.
Looking at the today's need with this digital era, so today, I mean, of course in metropolitans you can still expect teachers to be trained in the sector, that too to a reasonable extent. But now with the evolving times and with the digital shift and artificial intelligence coming in with that aggression, I think teachers today needs to be trained very properly so that they can impart the same to the students. And with the aware parents today, to face the parents, to convince, because we are basically into a service sector today. Let's call it a service industry and not education industry.
Very nice, right.
Today, the expectations and aspiration of both, expectation of the parent and aspiration of the student, both to meet them, meet their needs, meet the expectation is something very, very difficult. And of course that we need to be really, really very trained, very, very skilled to be satisfying them.
Right.
And that goes for the teachers especially.
Right.
As a management, all we can do is give the teachers opportunity to learn,
Right.
give them resources to learn.
Right.
But today, it is for the teachers, it is for the resources to equip them with the finest of skills possible.
Right. Right. I think very important point what you have spoken about is giving teachers an opportunity to learn and explore and become much better in the particular field. One thing I've noticed that current generation of students, their potential versus teachers' expertise of handling them, there's a huge amount of gap is getting widened up. And ability to adapt, become more flexible from the point of view of teacher, it certainly slows down. Might be because of the generational gap wise, might be because of the challenges or the resources has been not too much open for them. So why do you think that this slowness in adapting to the new changes are taking so much time for the teachers to evolve?
See, end of the day, Chetan, teachers are also human beings.
Right.
And the kind of burnout they face after rigorous 8 hours of training to the students with their own personal lives involved.
Right.
I think for teachers also is a big challenge.
Right.
And we talk about mental health for the students.
Right.
Why don't we address these mental health problems of teachers?
Absolutely right.
And the parents?
Absolutely.
So when you're talking about teachers, they too have their own problems and with their regular life, with their families, and top of it 8 hours of rigorous training to the students. I think it is important for us to address the problems of teachers as well.
I agree with you. I mean, if I talk about almost 1.5 decade back, there used to be saying कि अगर आपको इतना प्रेशर अगर आप हैंडल नहीं कर पा रहे हो, आप टीचिंग का जॉब ले लो. टीचर्स का जॉब सबसे इजी जॉब होता है. 5 घंटे 6 घंटे में आपने काम किया, आप घर आ गए, आप कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. बट आज की डेट पे अगर इफ़ आई सी द टीचर्स आर एक्चुअली वर्किंग might be same or more number of hours than an IT industry person, right? तो कहीं ना कहीं burnout तो हो ही रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा यहाँ पे, because they have to take care of their house and children and the schools and board and correction, lot of things happens in. तो जो burnout factor है, mental health का factor है, तो how do you think that they should take care of themselves and how school should be fostering an environment where they can really overcome this challenge?
The teachers and the parents and the parents and the children is most important to be addressed. And how do we do it? Is something I've not been able to figure out. It is for the teachers, it is for the entire country or the world to make it, to bridge the gap as much as possible. Today, with the lifestyle we all are leading, there's hardly any interaction of parents and children. At least teachers have the opportunity to interact with children. But if you talk about parents, कोई dialogue ही नहीं है, कोई चर्चा ही नहीं है. I think that is the biggest alarming thing today. Every family is facing rather.
और कहीं ना कहीं ये लगता है सर मुझे कि जो बच्चे हैं, they are opening up much to the teachers.
They opening up too much to the teachers.
They speak to the teachers. At least कहीं ना कहीं एक जो burnout की हम बात करते हैं टीचर्स के लिए, तो और वो एक और चीज़.
Giving too many stresses to the teachers also.
They are. I mean, this generation is
which
very
should have
smart.
been handled by the parents.
Correct. एक और थॉट मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा है सर यहाँ पे कि हमने बात करी अभी तक टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग की, हमने बात करी टीचर्स स्कार्सिटी की, हमने बात करी टीचर्स की बर्नआउट की. एक और रिसर्च बोलता है कि 60% ऑफ टीचर्स दे फील दे आर इनएडुकेट to handle the children's today's need. So
they feel or they are?
I mean
no, they don't feel that, unfortunately.
Right.
They think they're trained adequately to handle the children, though they are not.
Right.
That's the challenge, Chetan.
Right.
So their training is of utmost importance.
Right.
Teachers needs to be trained.
Correct.
First.
Correct.
How do we do it? Again, I have no answer to it.
Right.
The government of India has to come out with a curriculum,
right,
or such programs,
right,
to ensure quality teachers are produced in the country.
Right.
Every school, every organization, every institution has able teachers, able faculty.
Correct. I think it's a very right statement what you said, abled faculty, and that's a move forward which will, I think, gonna bring a lot of change in the system. Sir, हम जब इस पूरे broader spectrum में बात कर रहे हैं, तो हमने आई थिंक कई बार इसके ऊपर बात भी करी हुई है कि फ्यूचर ऑफ एजुकेशन कैसे होगा, राइट? आपको क्या लगता है कि जो फ्यूचर ऑफ एजुकेशन है, जो हमारे स्कूल्स की बात कर रहे हैं अभी, आर दे गोइंग टू बी स्टिल द सेम और यू सी अ ह्यूज ट्रांजिशन गोइंग टू बी हैपनिंग इन द फ्यूचर? What exactly your view is?
I think curriculum needs to be changed. the readiness of children needs to be ensured. I mean, of course, there needs to be change, a lot of changes in terms of the evolving careers today. Today, you have millions of careers which were not available in our times.
Correct.
Especially children are opting for influencers, and there's so many careers like that. So I think teachers are also unaware of these areas. They, like I said, they need to be trained, Chetan. Unless until they are trained, they are aware, they will not be able to handle students.
Correct.
And government also needs to intervene in the matter. Government, it is also government's duty. I'm not shying away from my duty, or teachers are not shying away from their duty.
Right.
But when you take a bigger canvas, then of course government has to intervene. Government has to take initiatives to ensure quality education is imparted and teachers are trained or certified by them, ensure they are imparting the right kind of education to children.
Right. One is that particular aspect, the teacher has to be trained and they have to be certified and they have to gain the right skills to handle the current generation of the children. On the other hand, I'm also seeing more of a technology shift has happened. Like AI-driven classes are happening, children are looking for more personalized learning, new platforms are coming up. So do you see that going forward, like brick and mortar schools are going to be obsolete?
Children are not going for personalized coaching.
Okay.
Only, unfortunate part is, only the science students or medical students in India are looking for personalized. That too, a very limited percentage of students. Otherwise, today I don't, like you said, brick and mortar model, I see it eliminating in future. That's my biggest worry as a businessman. I don't see these schools functioning for too long. We make huge buildings, we create great infrastructures. I don't see them thriving for too long.
एंड कहीं ना कहीं हमको ये भी लगता है सर कि बच्चों की जो नीड्स है, you know, it's also been changing. As you rightly said, you know, they want to get into social media, they want to become a YouTuber, they want to become an influencer.
They'll keep changing with time.
They'll keep changing. So this is another question which comes to my mind while, you know, hearing from you. Do you think that we should be also building those kind of curriculum into our education system which can really support the current needs of the children? Because children are already experiencing and they are already earning and they are already getting the exposure of it.
I think today, I mean, like I said earlier, of course, government is responsible. It's government duty to ensure right certification to the teachers or other areas. But then with the changing curriculums, with the changing careers, I don't think every now and then government can be framing different curriculum for different careers. I think it is the duty of the teachers themselves or the students. How do I put it? Framing curriculum is not that easy a thing.
Right.
Because to cater to 1.4 million students, billion students,
right,
citizens, about, so it's not an easy thing, I think.
But school can take an initiative?
School can take it, yes.
You know, let's take up looking at the current career trends which are happening in. School can take up the initiative to add those, extra subjects or extra classes for the children to learn.
Yes.
That can be taken up.
That should be done.
Right.
Short-term programs, short-term courses.
Correct.
And online courses are anyway available today.
Correct.
So, but schools also can take initiatives of having those curriculums within the school. Which is not on the ambit of any board as such.
We are handling right now outgoing generation Z and the current generation Alpha. And research बताती है कि 76% of generation Alpha will be looking at to become their own boss. That means they have their entrepreneur skills, right? So their mind shift is there that I am going to be more thinking out of the box. So they are already thinking way much ahead. They start thinking about their career at very early age. So now the mindset is very, very strong and very clear cut. And just to give an example, I would say yesterday evening I was talking to one of the girls from 9th standard, and she came up and she asked me, hey, you know what, are you an entrepreneur? I said yes. So she asked me, okay, what's your go-to marketing strategy and how much is your EBITDA? So the questions at 9th standard, I think when I was in 9th, I never thought about these questions. And these children are so fast forward that she immediately checked on the internet, all got the information, and started asking those critical questions. So their mind is very much sharp and fast, right? So how can we encourage these children to really pursue what they are looking at from the point of view of school, from the point of view of teacher, and from the point of view of parent? What is your take?
See, with the kind of exposure today children are getting from the internet, from the digital part of the world, I think every child is today is way too aware of things than we were aware of in our times.
Right.
So I think the leadership quality should be given priority by the school. There should be communication should be improved for children. Leadership skills should be imparted to the children.
Right.
Because today, like you said, every child wants to be her own boss.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why they're not too close to their parents.
Right.
They're not too much in touch with the parents.
Right.
Because they really can't take the command anymore. So they want to be their own bosses.
Right.
So these leadership programs should be imparted by the school.
Right.
So that tomorrow they can be their own bosses.
Right. I think schools can also take an initiative of calling most of the entrepreneurs to have an interaction with their children, because finally they look up industry experts and all, right? These are the extra things which they can take up these initiatives over here.
Unfortunately, there's another challenge to it. Educators ka kya karna hai? They have limited 8 hours or 6 hours of time in the school, wherein they have to cover the subjects, all the core subjects, the physical education, and the other areas as well. So these activities should be taken up post-school, I would say, more on choice-based.
Correct.
Because if any student is interested, it should be done post-school, and which should be totally optional, based on the interest of the student or the parent.
Right. Do you think somewhere the parents can also contribute in this?
Of course, as long as they are willing to.
Right. So their willingness has to be there.
Like I said earlier, they too are struggling with their own lives.
Right. Right.
Unfortunate part.
Right.
So yes, but there are parents, I won't say there are none. There are parents who do participate in such programs at the school level, and so yes, parents can contribute a lot.
So there is one word which you used was willingness, parents' willingness to do it. How has been your experience with your set of parents in your school?
Like I said, Chetan, सब अपनी जिंदगी में व्यस्त हैं.
Correct.
So everybody has their own challenges, but yes, big contribution. Of course, their contribution in the children's life, of course, matters the most. But you talk about the school level or the college level, of course, parents with the experience, they can impart their experience or whatever areas they excel in. It's an excellent idea, and I think parents do also at times, as long as they are invited properly.
Yes, I think this is where I was coming to. As long as they are invited, and एक point आपने बहुत अच्छी बताई कि यहाँ पे parents need not be blamed over here because they are already doing multiple things, but at the same time putting the priority aspects and coming and contributing.
See, let's not about blame at all.
Right.
With the digital times today, blame. Using the term blame would be a wrong thing, because today things are not the kind of how they used to be in our times. So today with the shift, which is also beyond my own understanding, so blame would be a wrong word to use. It's the shift.
Right.
So it's a mind shift.
Mind shift.
Today, how you take it, how you accept it, how you adapt it, is the main thing.
I think shift से मुझे एक चीज़ याद आ रही है यहाँ पे सर, कि जब when I was a kid, जब भी हमारे स्कूल से फ़ोन आता था तो आर पेरेंट्स यूज्ड टू गेट लिटिल स्कैर्ड, किस बात के लिए फ़ोन आ गया, राइट? अब पेरेंट्स यहाँ पे बोलते हैं कि हमें आना है मिलने के लिए,
और हमें भी डर लगता था आप कितना पिटेंगे.
करेक्ट, हम कितना पिटेंगे. बट अभी यहाँ पे आते हुए थोड़ा सा रिवर्स हो गया है यहाँ पे, कि नाउ टीचर्स गेट लिटिल एप्रीहेंसिव कि यहाँ पे पेरेंट्स आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे बात करने के लिए, आर्ग्यूमेंट, या फिर कहीं ना वही कहीं डिनायल मोड पे आ जाएंगे, एक्सेप्टेंस मोड लो होता है, राइट? तो एक शिफ्ट तो यहाँ पे भी आया.
अकाउंटेबिलिटी फैक्टर बहुत बढ़ गया अब. Like I said, service industry बन गई अभी, which is good and bad both.
Right.
So teachers are more accountable, which they should be.
Right.
In fact, the school's management also is accountable. But now, what accountability parent holds is a different matter, subject altogether. So there are gray areas also. But yes, today, like you rightly said, अब थोड़ा सा डर लगता है टीचर को भी कि क्या क्वेश्चन आने वाला है, what kind of question, because they are varied questions which teachers may be equipped to answer or may not be equipped to answer as well. They're like the area you're working in, mental health. Today, the major challenge in the education system is mental health, which thankfully your company is doing it very well, MyPeegu. But this is Chetan. This is the area which is most difficult to be addressed in the schools today, schools or colleges or in life as such.
हम जनरेशन अल्फा की जो बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, there's one thing what we have seen is, especially this generation alpha is very sensitive, very sensitive they are, and कहीं ना कहीं they are reluctant to come and seek for a help because उनको लगता है कोई हमें जज ना कर ले, right? और उनके अंदर fear भी एक होता है. So how do you think we can break this barrier?
Breaking the barrier with the parents is far more difficult, though they communicate with the teachers more than they communicate with the parents today. What I've seen, what I've noticed, or what I've heard, or with the peers. But breaking, because today, Chetan, with the technology, with the mobiles, the internet, the computers, both parents and children hardly get time to communicate with each other. As a result, child only communicates with the teachers. जितना भी टाइम मिलता है उनको, वो टीचर्स, if any student has a problem and they get a chance, they communicate their problems with the teacher, not so much with the parents, because they have good 8-9 hours with the in the school to discuss their problems with the teachers. So I think communication between the teacher and the student is much more than the parent and a student.
So the conversation between the student and the teacher is more, right?
Yes,
right. I think I agree with you with that particular point, because children are looking forward for having a conversation where they know they are not going to be judged. And there are times, again, a few students feel a little apprehensive कि मुझे ये बात करनी चाहिए घर से कि नहीं करनी चाहिए.
Parents are very judgmental, yeah. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I mean the idea is कि everybody wants to do it best for their children, but कहीं ना कहीं हमारा love and pamper also comes in.
Yeah.
Right. With this, actually, this one more thought comes to my mind कि स्कूल एक सिर्फ पढ़ने के लिए एक जगह नहीं है. मतलब वहाँ पे पढ़ाई के अलावा भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं स्कूल के अंदर. Right, lot of activities happens. Children groom, they mingle with everybody. They learn about the social etiquettes. A lot of interaction happens in. So, आपको क्या लगता है कि ऐसी quality जो हम as a school we should be giving to the children of generation alpha, which will be helping them in their future, because पढ़ाई तो हम करा ही रहे हैं उनको.
Vocational education.
Vocational education. कुछ बताएंगे इसके बारे में, थोड़ा elaborate करेंगे आप?
हमारे टाइम में ये कारपेंट्री सिखाते थे, ग्राउंड लेवल एक्टिविटीज कराते थे. Basically connect to the real world.
Right.
Is what with the digital era children have lost.
Right.
They're not aware of it.
Right.
So I think this vocational education and it would be quite useful in terms of bringing children close to the reality of the world.
Yes, and also this generation alpha, as we keep talking about them, that they are having their own mindset of being an entrepreneur, being a boss of themselves.
It will help them too in that
Exactly,
area.
that will help them. And also if they can be the one people who can do a lot of more freelancings and all, right? So it makes a lot of more sense now. The other thing is, at school, one more thing we have noticed is, apart from studies, there are a lot of crisis keeps happening in. It's like a firefighting situation, whether it's a emotional issue or physical issue. There's a crisis management need to be handled very efficiently by the complete school leadership team as well as the teachers.
I think the conventional method of a school now needs to be changed today.
Okay.
Because with the increasing problem, like you said, crisis different areas में बढ़ती जा रही हैं.
Right.
और बढ़ेंगी with times, with this mental health problems and digital era. I think today we as a school have to shift beyond school levels, beyond curriculum. One, of course, in the area of mental health.
Right.
And such other sectors. So we need to have different teams to handle different set of students for different problems, for different crises.
अब जैसे कि कुछ क्राइसिस ऐसी भी हो गई हैं जो कि इट्स बिकम क्वाइट पेनफुल फॉर अस आल्सो टू स्पीक अबाउट, लाइक सेल्फ हार्म, बुलिंग, राइट, चिल्ड्रन गेटिंग इनटू डिप्रेशन. नाउ ये जो क्राइसिस होती है यहाँ पे एक इमरजेंसी प्रोटोकॉल हमें लेना पड़ता है टू रियली हेल्प द चाइल्ड, यू नो, बिफोर इट बिकम्स टू लेट. एंड कहीं ना कहीं एज अ स्कूल हम कोशिश करते हैं हमारी साइड से करने के लिए, बट समटाइम्स वी एक्चुअली, यू नो, वी ऑल्सो हैव सर्टन एरियाज वेयर वी मिस इट आउट. So how do you think going forward the schools in the country can be furthermore be more mindful, more conscious to take up the right step at the right time?
See, I think at the level of school, we should think beyond teachers. We should think of having more counselors. Forget about special needs. Now we're talking about only mental health.
Right.
Be it depression, self-harm, any such thing.
Right.
We need to have more counselors in the school because these problems are increasing day by day.
Right.
And they're hard to be addressed as well.
Right.
So parents needs to be informed at the earliest, and parents also needs to be counseled about them at the earliest.
Right.
Because parents also at times fail to understand their problems.
Yes.
Please pardon me on saying that. Many times parents too are suffering the same problems.
Right.
So we need to have more counselors in the school. जैसे हिंदी का टीचर रखते हैं, अंग्रेजी का रखते हैं, we need to have more counselors with an idea that this is one subject which needs to be taught properly, addressed properly.
Correct.
We have to look with that mindset. कि ये नहीं कि 3 काउंसलर रख दिए, 2 काउंसलर रख दिए, CBSE ने बोला है तो 1 काउंसलर रख दिया, नहीं. This is one of the subjects which needs to be addressed, which needs to be taught. That kind of perspective should be taken by the school.
Very well said over here कि it's just not what the board is talking about, right? It has to go much more beyond that, because counselors सिर्फ problem नहीं देखते हैं, they also look at the skills of the children.
Yes.
Right? So we have to just change our frame of mind कि it's not just the problem but also the skills of the children. आपने एक बहुत अच्छी बात बताई थी कि there are a lot of careers options are coming up, and जो पुराने careers थे it's going to be an obsolete going forward. And I understand that you're running a company also parallelly, Unifly, which is into career side. And I always wanted to ask you that what exactly different it is than you know, what the other people are offering out.
It's no different. We're just trying to do the job very nicely.
Okay, can you elaborate furthermore?
We have good counselors, we have good career counselors, we have quality career counselors, and we're ensuring that every child is imparted right kind of shown right kind of direction, and shown right kind of career path. That's it. We're no different. We're just better than others.
Do you think career counselors can make a lot of impact in the children?
Very debatable topic, Chetan. As they say, schooling begins from home.
Right.
So, like I said, we have too much of accountability as a school.
Right.
And today we are a service industry. Not we as such.
Right.
Everybody is. So we have too much of accountability, which is right and wrong both. Parents are not doing as much as they are ought to do.
Right.
So of course the expectation levels of parents towards the school or any service sector, such service sector, is pretty high.
And I think it's a need of an hour also. You know, many of the as I spoke to you, that most of the times children are actually started thinking much more way forward in their early age, and they are always looking at.
Because they are much more aware.
They are much more aware. Exactly, they are much more aware than any of the adult around them.
That's right.
Yeah, and they know what exactly the next thing going to be happening in. And for the same reason, I think we require an expert to be really guiding them in all aspects of it. Moving from that particular point, I would like to really also understand one more aspect from you. As we spoke earlier, it used to be just the school and the teachers. And post-COVID, I think things have changed, because classrooms went to everybody's bedroom, right? And
people have started talking about it.
They started talking
Problems
about
always used to be there.
Correct. So now parents are no longer a spectator or an audience. They are actively participating, and which is a good sign. I mean, they are getting involved, and with a very nice intention over here. With this shift Do you think somewhere it adds a lot of pressure on the school for really meeting the expectations of the parents? You know what, they should be personalized, intervention should be given out, the academic standard has to go up, more activities has to be conducted. So do you see that shift is adding more pressure on the school?
Definitely is.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, Chetan, now these areas, career, mental health, should be taken up by schools or any institution as one subject. As Hindi or English or social science or philosophy, like that. You need is just a eyewash, no. It has to be addressed properly by an expert. Now who's an expert is again a question mark. Do we have experts? Again is a question mark. We need to have people, it's nice that we have companies like MyPeegu or any such company, other companies in the world globally, who are at least making an attempt to resolve these problems or to address these problems. But at the level of school or any educational institution, it is important for them to address this problem by bringing in experts. An ample number of experts required as per the strength of students.
तो कहीं ना कहीं ये जो shift है, it's actually in a positive way it's working for the schools. Because they are also pushing us for
accountability is always good.
Accountability is
always good.
Right. And it adds also.
Let's not shy away from our duty.
I agree.
Accountability is always good. Called trained people is a challenge.
Right.
उस caliber के लोग लाना is a problem.
It's a problem. Right.
It's a problem. Who are going to address these areas is a problem.
Exactly. अब ये एक सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट मुद्दे पे मैं आता हूँ यहाँ पे कि what is your advice for the people who are going to be starting the school? मतलब चालू करना चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए?
No advice.
क्योंकि जैसे हम देख रहे हैं जो हमने चैलेंजेस की बात करी.
Please do not look school as a business.
I think एक बहुत अच्छी बात आपने करी थी, सर्विस प्रोवाइडर.
Service provider, it's tough area to get into.
Yeah, it's tough area because अब parents ने actually validate कर दिया.
अब accountability है इसमें, not gone are the times.
Right.
When we used to study in school, or our ancestors used to study in school, accountability was very less.
Right.
Today, like in a typical hotel, if the bedsheet is dirty, you hear it. If you're not delivering quality, or if you're not addressing the problem properly, you hear it.
Right.
So,
I think एक आखिरी सवाल करूँगा आपसे ये, जब पूरी conversation आज हुई है हमारी, and there are a lot of thoughts came to my mind. You know, it really provoked me, the kind of insight what you gave to me and to all our viewers over here.
I didn't give any insight. These are the problems today which exist in this world.
Absolutely.
In fact, I didn't give any solution to it. I'm personally also finding solutions to it.
Right. I think we all on a journey to find the solution of all the problems that have been existing. If I have to ask you this, okay? Students are like a blank canvas, right? And we have to put all the colors in their life.
अभी कहाँ blank रह गए?
बच्चे हैं?
अभी कहाँ blank रह गए?
जैसे
Google ने सारे blank भर दिए.
सर देखिए वो IQ के हिसाब से भरा है. जब ईगो की बात आती है, इमोशनल क्वेश्चन की बात आती है, तो वहाँ पे सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है कि ये जो कलर्स हैं, तो इधर भरने की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसकी है? स्कूल की है, टीचर्स की है, पेरेंट की है, बच्चे की है, कि उसके फ्रेंड सर्कल की है?
सबकी है.
सबकी है.
Like again, I'll go down the same point. School begins from home.
Very nice.
What children pick up from home, they carry it all their life.
Right.
What I picked up from my house, I'm carrying it till today. And I see my children picking whatever they picked up from me, I see them carrying it today.
Very nice.
So, and this is my personal observation, Chetan.
Right.
Unless a child is studying in a hostel or is not staying too much at home, more or less children pick up things from home. So schooling begins from home. So parents are majorly responsible for whatever child is today. Of course, school plays a major role in it, but yes, nobody can be the responsibility of a parent.
So there's a saying which says that parents are the first teachers and teachers are the second parents, right? And that is something which I think parents has to take it forward over there. I think I agree with you, and it was such a wonderful to have a
पहले
discussion.
जो कहते थे ना parenting, there used to be sessions. Today there are sessions on parenting. So today I realize the value of it. It is important for parent to know how to bring up the child. Of course, for me it is too late. Children are already grown up. But today, yes, I realized what is parenting in life. Schools comes after parents. Again, I'm not shying away from the duty of a school. But yes, parents have a major role to play in children's life.
Your statement is very straight to the point that school come after the parents.
Definitely.
And I think personally, I also believe in the same statement.
जो रील्स आती रहती हैं कि हमने पैसे दिए हैं, टीचर्स की अपनी ड्यूटी से भाग रहे हैं, ये रील्स भी तो खराब कर रही है ना कि मैडम मैंने आपको पैसे दिए हैं, आप इट इज़ योर ड्यूटी. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता. Do you see these reels?
I have seen this.
Most of the reels which are spoiling the world,
Right.
giving the wrong messages to people. So, parents have an important role to play in children's life.
और बच्चे भी बड़े अच्छे रोल मॉडल हैं. Right? They do role modeling about the teachers and the parents. जो देखते हैं वो सीखते हैं, and that's how they reciprocate it out in the world, right? I think it was great, catching up on all the information.
Catching up again with you, yes.
Yes. No, but it was quite a information, quite insightful what you gave it to us. I mean, there are a lot of problems what you spoke about, and we still don't have the solution. This is not something solution can be figured out in one meeting or two.
And we shouldn't give up. That's the only idea. We shouldn't give up, and we should keep working on children as much as possible, as hard as possible. That's the crux of the story. That we should not shy away from our duty. Teachers should not shy away from our duty. And of course, I say the same for the parents. The parents must do their duty properly. They are parents, they must know they are parents.
Right. I think it was a great, having a podcast with you. And it was, as I told all the viewers, the very candid approach, and he doesn't like to sugarcoat his thoughts, right? Which was very, very open and very open. It was more like a straightforward conversation coming out from your heart.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for that insight over here.
And wish you all the best with MyPeegu, Chetan. I hope it does wonders for the children.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your wishes and the blessings. Thank you once again. Thank you. That wraps up to another insightful episode where we had a really great session with Mr. Rohit, where we got into various aspects of education, what we are facing today. Whether it is about the resource constraints, to crisis management, to a shift in belief system of the parents. Now, all these are very realistic issues what we are facing. At the same time, we also dwell into how the future of education is going to look like. Now, to our viewers, we are going to have some more interesting conversations going to be happening in Beyond Books. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, keep evolving. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Chetan Jaiswal, signing it off from Beyond Books.